Hey guys, Troy here, back with another video today. And I'm sorry, the very first thing I have to do before the video even starts is apologize for the balloons right there. Trust me guys, if you're upset about it, I'm even more upset about it. I come home and my girlfriend has balloons for a guy named Roy. So definitely gonna be having a talk, but it's okay. I don't need a love life, I have sports cards. And speaking of sports cards, today specifically, we're gonna be talking about basketball cards. And if now is the right time, you guys should be investing / buying for next season. And the best way to do that is to look at actually some data. So we can see exactly where cards are right now compared to where they were during the height of the bubble, or even before, back in March when the market was kind of at a lower point. Now, if only there was some way we could do that. Boom, there it is guys. We got some nice graphs. We're stepping up the game here. I can't believe there's some shoddy production channels where they just put a picture right there and say one price and then another. Was all the way up past $800. And now they're back down to $400 even. Couldn't be me, couldn't be this channel. But all right, that's enough messing around. Let's get to the graph. Okay, so right here we're looking at Luka Doncic Prism PSA 10 graph. You can see that at its height back in about July, August, this card was over $2,000. And now it's been pretty steady for almost a whole month at about $1,200. But also, as you can see, not too long ago, guys, back in July, this card was only $700. Now, there's a couple of takeaways I have looking at this graph immediately. Now, if you look on the right and see where we are now, and you compare it to the far left of the graph, it seems like we're at still an extreme high point. But honestly, that stuff on the left of the graph, that's from October of last year, guys. Not only has Luka drastically improved and shown a lot more from that point, I'm here to tell you today, if you're looking back at what the card market was a year ago, it is never ever going to be the same. It's become professionalized, and really those days of those prices, barring a major overall economic downturn, I can pretty confidently say that those prices are gone, at least for the next NBA season. But looking at this, I was actually pretty surprised that the price right now is still higher than what it was in like July. So if you're buying Luka, you're actually not getting, the screaming deal that I thought you were. And I'm not some sort of crazy stock market technical analysis person, but if you're looking at this graph, there still is a strong upwards trend. So this kind of confirms what I was thinking about Luka, that we're buying the dip right here. And when we look back at this chart during the next NBA season, you're gonna see that little dip and then the straight back up. So for some of you guys who haven't bought Luka at all, at any point in this left part of the graph, you're not getting a great deal like I actually kind of thought you were, but I still think this is a solid entry point for it to keep going up. And on that note, do I think you should be buying right now at this exact moment? I can't say 100% for certain. You can definitely see that the price seems to have stabilized. Like with stocks, we say it's hit a point of resistance, meaning it's going to be kind of hard for it to go below it. I still think there could be one more mini dip before next season starts, but in general, I don't think this is a bad time. I was pretty familiar with Luka prices, owning one of those cards myself. So now let's look at Giannis, kind of the poster child for the basketball market crash. This Prism PSA 10, as you can see there, got all the way up to over $6,000 at its peak this year. And now recently, it's kind of hit that stabilization, that floor, and gotten as low as $2,900. Now, this kind of looks more to me like the screaming deal I alluded to in the Luka part. Even back in February and March, this card was over $2,000. And that was before the card market really took off. So if you believe in Giannis and think he's gonna have a big next season, this seems like a pretty good entry point actually. And I'm not gonna waste your time going through every single player's chart, but I saw a similar trend with Kawhi and actually even LeBron to a certain extent, especially the older stars who have been eliminated. Their prices right now look very similar to Giannis's, where you're able to buy for almost the same price that people were buying in March. So I'm not telling you to buy Giannis specifically or any of these stars really, but if you're looking for a long-term hold, I think the prices right now are actually pretty attractive. Next up, I wanted to look at a star who didn't even play in the bubble, so there really shouldn't be any performance factors affecting his price, and that is Trae Young's Prism PSA 10 once again. Sorry for all the Prism talk, but it's just good to be consistent in the card and the grade that we're using. This chart, a little different than Giannis's. You're not really getting any type of discount at all if you're buying Trae Young right now, with the exception of versus people who bought for a very small 1 month window during the bubble. This card is going for a touch under $400 right now when it was available to you for $200 to $250 for pretty much this entire year, with the exception of the peak of the bubble, the peak of basketball, the peak of the sports card hype. Once again, a chart which shows a pretty strong upwards trajectory, but this actually went against my beliefs that I had going into this, which was that I assumed Trae Young prices right now, especially with the market, some people have even called it a crash that happened, but in reality, he's almost double what he was just a couple months ago. Now, I'm still a believer in Trae Young, and I'm going to be buying his cards because I believe in him long term and his success. But for him, and actually the last player we're going to get to next, you're not really taking advantage of any type of market correction if you're buying his card. You're basically just betting that he's going to play really well next season, or believing that this market will continue to show that upwards trajectory and prices will rise near the beginning of next season. Now, for the last chart, I wanted to talk about Coby White Prism PSA 10. And I have to say, this one actually shocked me, which once again shows you how important it is to have data tools like this if you guys can justify the cost, because your preconceived notions are not always true. Coby White Prism PSA 10, if you see at the right end of the graph, is going for $175 right now. Actually more expensive than it was going for in July, when it was going for about $150. And his prices have been pretty much even since March, which is really surprising to me. Another guy who has not been influenced by any type of performance because he wasn't in the bubble, but I thought you once again would be taking advantage of the market correction, looking to buy a guy like Coby White, but this graph shows that you're really not. But at the same time, you're buying at March 2020 prices, where most, I don't know about most, but a lot of cards have doubled or tripled since March, not even necessarily due to any kind of crazy performance. All right, guys, that's it for the video today. Definitely different today. It was pretty much all just technical analysis, as opposed to what I usually do, just talk about, their team fit, their skills, what kind of player they are. And I think there's room for both of this on the channel, but definitely let me know what you think down below. I do this for you guys, I do it to help you, so whatever is most helpful, definitely let me know what you think of any ways I can improve these videos in the future, or if you want to see more graph analysis, or just stick completely to more of the quicker basketball analysis with short mentions of price. But either way, I think this new tool will be really helpful for me as an investor, and I think also it'll be featured in the channel and it'll help you guys out too. So let me know what you think down below. Make sure to like and subscribe. We're going to keep the content coming. Thanks again, guys.